Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. And finally, something I'd have to talk about football for. Yes, we are doing the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix review, round 2 of the 2021 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. And, well, that was a race. That was a good race. That was a, race. That was a topsy-turvy one. Obviously, going into the weekend, we all thought that it was Max Verstappen's sort of Grand Prix and Red Bull's Grand Prix that he should be winning, and should be expected to win, especially Max Verstappen. But it turned out not to be the case. We thought there would be more advantage to Red Bull, but actually, it looks like Mercedes, even in practice and qualifying, seemed to already caught up on the deficit they've lost. And if that's the case, then even better, because that bodes well for the rest of the championship. But yeah, and it turned out to be an extraordinary fight for pole. The actual top 8, I think, was separated by half a second. So Lando Norris, who came 7th in the end, wow, he could have got pole position. He could have actually got pole position if he weren't for that mistake. Turn 9 and running just a little bit too wide. But Hamilton getting his 99th pole of the season of his career, one away from 100 now, and with a very good, precise, very well driven lap. Nothing over dramatic, really looking like it was on the edge, but just precise enough to gain pole position and be fast enough. So, and Max Verstappen was tipped by his teammate Perez, who had struggled a bit during the weekend, but then come qualifying turned into the Perez that sort of got the seat in the first place from Racing Point last season. And yeah, and obviously it looked like to be a very good start to the race, and there was potentially about some showers, but most of the people didn't actually expect it to rain until just about 20 minutes before the start. The heavens opened, and well, at least on one half of the circuit was the heavens opened. The back end of the circuit looked completely dry, but it really threw up into question about strategy. People like it meant obviously everyone had to start an intermediate down into turn 1. Hamilton losing out to Verstappen. I think he was busy fighting Perez, and then whilst fighting Perez, Verstappen, who got a mighty start, came up the inside and squeezed through. And actually, because of that, Hamilton had to run over the curbs and caused damage to his front wing plate. But still, despite that, was keeping up with Verstappen, and actually towards the pit stop where they had to change to switch over to dry tyres, was actually catching him at a vast rate of knots. So it triggered Max to have to pit first, because I think if Hamilton did, he would have been stuffed. But Hamilton, and then straight after that, Hamilton, with such an uncharacteristic mistake, lapping back markers, knowing that there's a damp patch of the circuit, and just because of that, he just what happens with slicks on damp circuits means they don't work, and he just slid straight off the road. Had to try to get out of it, but unfortunately clipped the wall. Then had to reverse out of it, then make it back to the pits, put a front wing on, by which point he zapped down. Luckily, whilst he was pitting and then leaving the pits, Bottas and Russell went by and had a massive accident into Tamburello. George Russell trying to get past Bottas with the slipstream, and it looked like Bottas had just leaned towards the right a little bit, and it caused Max to drift wide and catch the grass. You catch the grass at 200 miles an hour, you know what's going to happen. You're just going to end up in a mighty accident, and you just got a tank slapper straight into the side of Bottas, which took him straight into a wall, which then eventually caused a red flag. I think even with a safety flag, Hamilton would have been able to get back, but yeah, the red flag obviously caused meant that all the drivers that were lapped down managed to unlap themselves. So it gave Hamilton the opportunity to recover up to second and also gain fastest lap. So he keeps 1 point ahead in the championship, 1 point ahead in front of Verstappen on 33, Hamilton on 44. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the season. It's going to be 2 and 5 between the two of them. And it really made for an exciting race. I mean, Lando, despite having 7th, managed to drive an unbelievable race and get up himself up to 3rd. The 2 Ferraris had a really good race. Leclerc started 4th, ended up 4th. Sainz improving to 5th. So a very good performance for the Scuderia, which bodes well for them. The Haas drivers again struggling like hell. At least like the Williams cars are at least trying to be competitive, are actually being competitive. Lewis was damned lucky with the timing of that Bottas Russell crash without the red flag. He would have been a lap down on Max. Yes, good points. It's last season's jumper. So who would you blame in that crash? Bottas for not leaving enough space to Russell, or Russell at blame? I think it's a mixture of the both, to be honest. Maybe more so Bottas because he did force him out that wide. And Russell had that already momentum from the slipstream. So I would probably point more the finger at Bottas. I did originally think it was Russell, but then actually getting a good look at it from, I think it was the Alfa Romeo's onboard camera, it did show that Bottas was just like in the middle of the circuit. And on a small circuit in the middle of the circuit, you don't leave a lot of space. And the angle that Russell was coming from, he meant he had to go that wide to try and avoid him, and obviously catch the grass. Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, again, another great race, and obviously the news came out in that on that Sunday morning that F1 has confirmed it will be going to Miami in 2022 next season, which is a great race to have back. He used to go there before, it's going back there again. I think under a new circuit, but yeah, great to have it back on the calendar. And I mean, again, we can have, and it was another great race, and it's just so, because it's so competitive. You don't, I mean, you sort of kind of know where sort of certain cars are in terms of in performance, but then I think that can differ between one season to one track to the next. And the only thing you can be sure is that in terms of the championship, it's between Red Bull and Mercedes. And Mercedes still managed to keep the lead of constructors. They keep it by being 60 points and Red Bull 43. So they still have the advantage in that sense. So yeah, but I think Perez starting second would be disappointed for where he finished in the race. He needs to be doing better than that, and I think he knows that, and I think he'll learn from that. But the fact he managed to get second and out-qualified his teammate. That's the first time Max's teammate has out-qualified him since 2018. Since 2018. I think it was since Mexico 2018. I'm not sure. Yeah, Mexico 2018, I think. But yeah, 2018, the last year that someone out-qualified him with Daniel Ricardo. So that just shows how difficult it's been for the likes of Gasly and Albon, who have been in the seats after Ricardo. How much of a problem it is, how much they've struggled, and it looks like that car, I think, is designed for Verstappen. The whole team's behind Verstappen, let's be honest. Right? Perez is not going to get a shout for the championship this season. He's not. It's a simple fact. They believe in Max Verstappen. It's their young driver. It's their driver. He's been with that team now since 2016. After the Azerbaijan incident, they more favoured Max in that incident, to be honest. So you already saw that. That's probably why sort of Ricardo needed to sort of saw that he needed to go, and which is a shame because when he joined at just basically the wrong time in 2014. But it just, yeah. But Verstappen is going to get all the opportunities in the world to be in Formula One. So, and that's the simple fact of it. So, yeah, it's a shame because I'd like to see Perez being able to fight up there. Same with Bottas. But the thing is that people might not, Bottas doesn't get these same opportunities. But accidents like what happened in Emilia Romagna, his performance in the Bahrain Grand Prix, this is why it doesn't get opportunities. It's all right doing it in practice and being top at practice sessions. But you need to be top in qualifying. You need to be top at the end of the race. That's where you score your points. And he doesn't do that on a consistent basis. He doesn't even outperform the car on a consistent basis. Hamilton, pretty much nearly every time you see him, is usually outperforming that car. Right? Always putting about 3/10 on what he can actually do. So that's what separates Lewis as between sort of Max, for example, and Leclerc, for example, from the other team, from the other drivers, is that those drivers can find a little bit extra where other drivers can't. They can outperform the car when others can't, and that's what separates them from being good drivers to being great drivers. Obviously, with Hamilton's case, with what he's done in the sport, is always will be probably the greatest of all time. People might have other views on that, but for me, statistically, he is. You can't deny that. So, and you've got to put respect on that. And again, what it showed in that Grand Prix, yes, he made the mistake, but he had the experience, maturity to rectify the situation. Yes, he got lucky with the red flag. Yes, I understand that. But it's still you then got to go out and get back second place from 8th position. It was, yes, so many laps to go, but you've got to go do that. And he was not rushing it, going past the cars, doing the overtakes at the best opportunity. So, yeah, some of the comments. Once again, good luck helped Mercedes, and bad luck hampered the Honda-powered teams. At Emilia, Red Bull bad luck with Perez spinning on the safety car. Red Bull bad luck, Perez spinning on Gras. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who told him he could overtake under a safety car. Surely the team knew that. Surely they knew that. What is this, amateur hour? Right? You know the rules. You know why you don't overtake on with a safety car. So why are you doing it? Why? You should know this. You've seen two cars go ahead of you. You've been off the track. That's it. You got to be behind them now. You can't overtake once two marshal off the circuit and drivers have gone past you. So why was it the whole grid went past when you came back on? Did you drive straight all the way past them? No, it don't work like that. Because you're in a yellow flag situation. Once you go past the actual incident, Bottas is getting out of the car. He goes past the incident trying to overtake someone to regain his position. And doing so, he goes too fast, spins off the road, and hits Bottas. What happens then? This is why I found it absolutely extraordinary Red Bull didn't tell him about that. Free Sonoda bad luck spinning on grass. Yeah, I mean, Sonoda really should have done a bit better there, to be honest. Latifi, right? Latifi was a bad, but then you can say about that Latifi with Mercedes. Latifi spun out, then got up and running, and just to spin back into a wall. So there's these fine margins in Formula One, and with the wet racing, with weather racing, you can expect this. This is mistakes, right? You're going to do this at the high level of Formula One. When you push things to the limit, you're going to make mistakes. Also, at Bahrain, Red Bull bad luck, Perez electrical issue. Red Bull bad luck, Verstappen diff. Are you trying to make every excuse in the world about how Red Bull have been denied this and denied that, right? Come on, mate. Come on. Mercedes good. No, that's not Mercedes good luck. Red Bull are not allowed to exceed. That's not good luck. That's the rules. You can't exceed track limits to gain a position. You can't do that. That's not bad luck. Man, that's called the letters of that's called the letter of the law, right? Right, simple as that. Stop making excuses. Yeah, stop making excuses, mate. I know what you're doing. Stop making excuses. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put the link in the chat. There you go. If anyone does want to come on, they can do. Oh, good. All night worrying about this bloody Super League. Right. And do you know what? We were supposed to be doing the watch along for Leeds Liverpool, but I'm doing an hour's question. I'm doing an hour's to an hour and a half where people can come on and have their say instead. Right, instead of watching that, because apparently it doesn't matter no more. Doesn't matter anymore. Right, especially for Liverpool. It's not getting cancelled, but I ain't watching it. So you can watch it if you want, but I'm gonna let people have their say on this matter, and I'm just gonna moderate the stream and just bring up the comments. But everyone that does want to have their say can come on and have their say. Simple as that. So join us at 7:45 for that, because obviously I've got rescue at 6 p.m. with Mark Halsey after this, so you might want to tune in to that. Maybe get a referee's opinion on all this as well. But I'm trying not to talk about this during this stream because I'll go mad. At least F1, they actually care about the fans, and actually care about what fans think, right? Right. Plus, they actually put their foot down with the other teams when F1 tried a similar thing in 2009. And they put their foot down saying, now this is we're saving you from yourself. If you don't like it, fuck off. And now all the teams are like, nah, all right, we'll do it. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna do the driver and team ratings for this Grand Prix. So let me bring this up. So obviously it's all gone scrambled again. We'll start with the drivers. So we'll go from Emilia Romagna. We'll go through the grid as in who finished first and where. So we'll go for Max Verstappen. This is throughout the weekend, by the way. This is like in general. So in terms of qualifying, it was poor from Verstappen. Right, he should be doing better than that, to be honest, if it was for me. But if, by the way, anyone can join on the stream anytime they want, by the way, just hit the link. Please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. In terms of the race, stellar performance. And it would be about an 8 or 9, but because of the qualifying, I'd have to say it would have been about 9, but it would have been about 8 for me for qualifying and race. It was decent enough performance in qualifying, which will give you a pole. Yeah, Hamilton, second place, fastest lap, made that mistake during the Grand Prix, got pole position. Pole position would have been about 8, 9, something like that. But that mistake in the race as well, right? The fact he didn't finish first, now he got fastest lap. It's bang average, really. Right? I expect better from Lewis. Right? I expect much better things from Lewis. Right? Especially if you're a 7-time world champion. We're gonna go for Lando Norris. Lando Norris. Decent performance in qualifying, right? So 6 with a good performance in qualifying, 7th. Despite getting 7th, he could have got pole. So 7th, and the race for me, that's why I say he was driver that day. Top class performance, right? So that for me is definitely where I put in. Leclerc finished 4th. Decent enough weekend for him. Good weekend for him. As usual, outperforming that Ferrari, getting it 4th, finishing it 4th. Very good performance. Quiet afternoon, but did well. Carlos Sainz, also a good performance. I'll put both drivers with each other. I think he started just below that in the top 10, but managed to get himself up to 5th and get good points for the team, especially if they're taking on McLaren for their fight for the 3rd position spot. We're then going to go for Daniel Ricardo. He had a bang average of performance, to be honest. Decent weekend. It wasn't the greatest for me. It wasn't great, but yeah, for Daniel's quality, I've seen better. Let's put it that way. Then we've got Pierre Gasly. So Pierre Gasly, AlphaTauri. I would put him okay. I don't know actually where the starting grid result was. Right, they finished. Gasly was 5th actually, so he actually dropped a couple of places. Yeah, okay, but not great. For me, then it's the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Right. Lance Stroll from Aston Martin. He started 10th, so fought his way up to 8th. Good performance despite their after their first race of the season. It was a good performance from Stroll, and should be quite happy with that one. So fair play to him. Esteban Ocon for I'll put bang average because started 9th, qualified 9th, finished 9th. So bang average. Sergio Perez in 11th. So after all that, into getting to qualify 2nd, he finishes outside the points. For me, that is poor. In fact, it's very poor. Very poor. He should be doing a lot better than that. A lot better. I know this is only 2nd race for Red Bull, but if you qualify 2nd, you should be able to finish at least 4th. At least. So, yeah, not great. In fact, sorry, Sainz had a better race than Leclerc, really. I just realised he started 11th and got himself up to 5th. So, yeah, my bad. Then we've got, what have we got next? Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda had a spin in the race. He qualified. He didn't actually qualify at all. He got DNF, so he finished 12th in the end. It was okay. Like Gasly was okay. Fernando. Oh, I forgot Fernando Alonso was 10th. Shit. Forgot about him there. Fernando Alonso. Where did he qualify? 15th. So, yeah, another great race by Alonso. He always does good races. He never really has a bad race. Tsunoda should be a 5. Yeah, well, yeah, I did put him in 5, so looks like you agree with us on that one. Like I said, please do hit a like on the video, hit share, hit the subscribe button. Go do that now. We've got, who we got next? We've got Raikkonen, 13th. Raikkonen 13th. He was 16th on the grid, so yeah, it was poor really. I've seen better. Giovinazzi again, like underwhelming the Alphas. Then Sebastian Vettel, who's, to be fair, Sebastian Vettel after qualifying he started 13th. He had a very poor race, to be honest. He had a very poor race. I don't know what's going on with Vettel anymore. I literally don't know. Do you think Perez, you were very generous to give him very poor? He should go even below. Nah, because I mean you got 2nd on the grid, so for qualifying, so you can't have a guy in that much. But his race was very poor though, so that's why I'd say it was 3, because it's a mixture of qualifying and the race as well. So we've got then Mick Schumacher, young Mick Schumacher, who started 18th, finished 16th. So, poor. Well, actually, okay, to be honest. Compared to what that Haas is doing at the minute, it's all right. Then, and then Mazepin, very poor again. Made some mistakes during the weekend, not very great. I know the car's struggling, but still. Bottas had an extremely poor weekend, qualified 8th, didn't do anything in the race, then got taken up by Russell. Latifi had a trash weekend. So did George Russell, to be honest. But those are the driver ratings. Lando Norris is your driver of the day, of the weekend. And then we're going to go to the teams. So Mercedes. They could be happy that it looks like they caught up Red Bull, but it was good. But I've seen better. Red Bull again. I can only mark them there. So actually, Mercedes will go under them. So yeah, Red Bull go good because they had a great race with Verstappen and good qualifying, but the Perez performance really always hinders that quite significantly. McLaren, very good. I'd actually put them above them because they had a very good weekend, very solid weekend. Ferrari, I'd also say had a very solid weekend as well. I would also say, look, Alpine had a good weekend. Alpine had a good weekend for them. Okay weekend for Aston Martin, with one driver in the points, one was struggling in the 15th, but I think he had issues to start before the start of Grand Prix anyway. But still, AlphaTauri, again, like the 5, very trash weekend for Williams. Very poor weekend, extremely poor weekend for. Very poor weekend for Haas. Alfa Romeo, poor. They would expect better. So, but there you go. But yeah, those are the driver ratings, team ratings as well. So, sort of teams of the weekend would be McLaren and Ferrari. I'd have to put for maybe McLaren above them, because obviously they got the best result possible. Could you explain why the cars were allowed to unlap themselves before a restart yesterday? Is it, basically at the start, whenever there's a safety car or a red flag, anyone who's been lapped by the lead car does get the chance to unlap themselves. So basically the lead driver and the ones that aren't unlapped will stay behind the safety car, and the ones who are lapped will get to be overtake them, go around the circuit, and then form up behind the pack. So that way everyone's on the same lap again. So yeah, that's how it works, and it usually only works with a full safety car and a full red flag incident. So that's how it works. So that's why Lewis Hamilton was allowed to unlap himself at the restart. Just a question That was a childish mistake from Perez to make since he's been in Formula for 10 years. Would it be okay if he had given those instead of... No, I think that they're very, very robust on this, the FIA, because of safety. I think if he did that, then allow them back through, I think the FIA would have still, they would have still acted, then I think they still would have punished him. Because you should know that. You should know better than that. So, yeah, that's why I don't think that's why they acted the way they did. I'm surprised the team don't get a fine, because the team should have told him as well, not just the driver. I remember that sort of thing happening to Hamilton. Sure, he went off the circuit in 2009, and then he overtook him, tried to confirm it with the team. The team said, "No, you got to let him back through." Then tried to make Hamilton lie by saying that had been said. That's what the team told him to do, and then for it to come out in the radio message, because basically McLaren went to them saying that Trulli overtook under the safety car. You've got to give us the position and that. But they didn't tell them that the radio. They said let him through. So then they tried to make Hamilton lie about the radio message, and obviously the FIA got hold of the message from their data and said you've been lying. So yeah, that was a whole palaver in itself. So that's why it's very clear to the drivers and to the teams, you can't overtake under a safety car if you're off the circuit. Once you rejoin the circuit, the next car behind can't overtake you. So yeah, but it's weird. Considering this year's car, do you think Max Red Bull, especially if Ham wins it this year and leaves F1? I don't think he will. He's put so much effort into that team that I don't think that he would go. I don't see it. The only thing I see is like the minute is Lewis going at the end of the season, especially if he wins that title, because he's won 8 titles and he could probably put his feet up and said, "There you go, I've had enough." I would want that to happen. Obviously, I'm a Hamilton fan, but I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't even blame now if he decided I'm going to hang up my boots in the season, because you've given so much to the sport. You have, and you're now affecting what's happened off circuit as well. So yeah, for me, it depends. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on, because I'm going to be rambling on about this Grand Prix forever. We got Portimao next. Portimao, obviously, Hamilton will be happy about that, because it's where he finally broke Schumacher's record of 91 wins. So, yeah, can he make it, 96 wins now? And a 1,000 and 100 Grand Prix, pole positions as well or Max Verstappen try and continue the Red Bull dominance to the start of this season. We'll wait and see, but it's very, very tight between most of the teams, actually. Most of the teams in general. So, Brett from John, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you in the chat as usual. And yeah, we're going to leave it there. Please, everyone, do hit the like button. Bear with me, because it's been depressing for me to watch race yesterday. Perez is on 1-year deal with Tsunoda eyeing it. So Red Bull is impatient. I don't. Yeah, I'll give him time. All right, don't worry. Give him time. I'm sure he'll find his feet. and we'll find the right answer to try and get Red Bull to win that Constructors and Drivers' Time Championship this season. I think he's going to definitely up there. He proved it in qualifying, so I definitely think he's up there. But yeah, we'll be back at 6 p.m. with the rest view with Mark Colesley. But yeah, he'll be giving his side about the European Super League, I can tell you that. And then 7:45 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. whatever. So 7:45, I believe. We will be doing basically European Super League. Have your say. You can come on and have your say. Right, it was going to be the watch on Silesia at Liverpool. I'm so fucked off with it that I can't be asked watching it. So I'm just going to let other people just come on and ramble on about the Europa Super League and just monitor the chat and everything. So I've said what I've had to say. So in so many ways, let everyone else just sort of ramble on for about an hour and a half, and then call it quits. But yeah. Everyone, thank you for watching as usual. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Right, share it with everyone. Please get them to subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Right, it won't be long before we do hit that target. So please go and do that now if you are new, and we'll be back later on at 6 p.m. Take care. Bye bye.